John Acwera, born in the bustling town of Lira, was born a normal child. However, this was only to last 4 years of his life. A polio attack at the age of 4 brought his life to a staggering halt. He now lives as a beggar. New Vision TV met him at his home in Kamwokya, one of the biggest slums in Kampala. Now living in Kampala's suburbs of Kamwokya, 39-year-old Acwera is one of the over 50 beggars in the same community. He is crippled from the waist downwards. The beggars have a lot to tussle with, but poor sanitation gives them the hardest of lives. His coming to the slum is related to the insurgency in northern Uganda, where the rebels led by Joseph Kony wreaked havoc in the area of over 2 decades. After a number of encounters with the rebels, a good Samaritan offered to rescue him and many others who could not flee. A Denmark-based organization, Lisa Care, bought land for them in the city and put up shelters for the rescued PWDs. On this hot Sunday afternoon, a sweep of one's eyes across the area reveals mostly crippling adults, a few on walking sticks. Acwera and his counterparts among the estimated 1 billion people around the world with some form of disability. About 80% are living in developing countries. In Uganda's housing and population census, it is estimated that 12% of the population, which is 4 million people, have some form of disability or other. Disabled people in Uganda, as in most developing countries in the world, face extreme conditions of poverty, have limited opportunities for accessing education, health, suitable housing, and employment opportunities. And Acwera and his counterparts are a perfect description of the like. Right within the community is a wide trench filled with dirty water and filthy objects, hence a perpetual stench.
Outside there, right up there.
And yet the place is
where the place is wet, muddy, as we move down.
So does the people matter come up in the process? The people matter in the election?
Yeah. The toilet we have, the sewage can't come out. So it can't come out. But the problem is, that mwala you see, there's so many things, people put their feces, people, so many things. Some people who their boson, they put them there, bad things. So
all those things end up.
So making the sanitation not good.
Acwera curses when he trains, because before long, the trench fills up and floods the whole place, including his house. The dirty water covers the floor, in the process wetting everything in the room, including the beddings.
The whole place is flooded. And when it's flooded, the water enters direct inside. And you find that everything that is inside is flooded by water. And even the bed, you find that everything is wet. And after the rain stops, you have to remove water outside again. So you have to get somebody to help us to remove water outside. So it is not easy when it is raining here. And when you get to here, you might run away.
Even worse, they have no way to the latrine, as the way there is flooded with filth. Once he suffered from diarrhea. Since he is crippled from the waist and a heavy downpour had flooded the way to the latrine, he could not crawl through. He was forced to hire a man to carry him to and from the latrine, about 30 meters from his house. However, when the diarrhea worsened, he had no choice but to stay in the latrine for hours.
When it rains, actually, there's no way to go. Because here you need water only. So there is no way. That's why you can see our toilet a bit up. But to go up to there, and maybe you want to push yourself, like a long call. You have to get somebody, and you negotiate with him or her. Except you need men who can carry people and take you where where the toilet is, and negotiate with you to give him something, because he has helped you. But for urine, without water will go away. People just urinate there.
Water is hard to come by. 50-year-old Peter Ochen Julius, also disabled from the West, explains that they have to hire able-bodied people to fetch water for them. The running water is about 100 meters away. A jerrycan of water costs 200 shillings, and hiring someone to carry the jerrycan is 500 shillings, which adds up to 700 shillings per jerrycan.
Don't have nearby water. You used to pay some people to go and drink us water. No, a jerrycan they're selling 200 shillings. So that person, if we're going to carry a jerrycan, we can pay 500. Because in something like this, we need to wash our clothes, doing what, bathing, what, even cleaning the room.
The duo says they have been talking about their problems several times to non-government organizations and the government, but neither has come to their help. Esther Chozra, the head of programs at the National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda, NUDIP, says that unfortunately, despite the dire conditions the disabled community in Kamwokya is facing, NUDIP is not aware of their existence. She explains that no one has ever reached to NUDIP to highlight their plight. She adds that even if they did, NUDIP cannot promise to build them houses or provide the wheelchairs. They can only amplify their plight such that organizations with funds can improve their environment. Meanwhile, Henry Bukenya, a doctor with Mulago Hospital, warns that the floods carry with them filth which expose the people with communicable diseases like cholera, dysentery, and typhoid, among others. There is clearly a great need for the civil society organizations, government, and community to step in and support the plight of persons with disabilities in Uganda. Achievements of Vision 2040 remains a myth unless the issues of equitable development are looked into. This report was compiled by Vicky Wandawa for New Vision TV.